Welcome to ruralvacantland.com. This is Luke Smith, and today I plan on giving away some free land. So if you stick around to the end of this video, answer a basic question, I'll give away a free piece of land. I'm on the phone with a couple guys, Eric Harum, Micah, Latoya, and Jeremy. They kind of asked to remain anonymous, but I believe from what I've seen, they're probably the largest land dealers, volume number of properties east of the Mississippi. They do a lot of a lot of buying and selling. Done a lot of deals with these guys. They get their deeds out fast. They do good business. And today we're looking at sending out some mailers to buy some more land. And so these guys will be answering the phones and running with it. And so I'm gonna try to tailor a mailer to them and figure out what we end up with. So I see a couple people logging in here. Welcome Joe Bowers. He's on a couple of these live calls. Shelby Land Deals, hey Luke, Jessica Green, hello guys. So if you're just joining, you're just listening in, I'm planning on giving away some free land at the end of this video, and I'm on the phone with a couple other guys and a lady, and we're gonna figure out what to mail. Is that a fair introduction, guys?
Yes.
Here we go. So
Sounds good.
Sounds good. So have you guys, where do you guys get most of your land? I think I know the answer to that. You don't have to answer super precise, but just generically. Like tax auctions or tax?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the land that we buy, there's either online auctions or live auctions or mailing auctions or for sale by owners. So we acquire land from a multitude of sources.
How long have you been buying land?
We've been doing this full time. I personally have been about 5 years. The other guys that are my business colleagues that operate separate holding companies, they've been doing that. One's been doing it 2 years, one's been doing it 3 years. So we probably bought and sold about 600 pieces of land in the last 5 years. That's
Nice.
That's all three of us combined.
Yeah, I see your ads all over the place. It's always the cheapest in the area. It's the same pricing model that I use. The cheapest land, and probably the first land people look at when they're shopping in the area, and that's what sells. I mean, the cheapest, easiest land, right? So
that's right.
Yep. So we got a couple more people logging in. We got 26 people online right now. A lot of people saying, hey Luke, hi Luke, hi guys. I'll try to keep up with the comments as we go. So this last mailer I mailed some northern Montana. Before that I was mailing some, I can't even remember them all in the last couple weeks. Mailed some Navajo, mailed some Cochise County, some different parts of Arizona. Why don't I pull up the screen when I change screens, we'll go into the computer and we'll start figuring out this mailer. Did you guys have some questions? Eric and the crowd, do you have questions for me before we get into this?
No, we'll let you do your thing.
Yeah. So you have specific like size properties you're interested in, or price properties you're looking for, or just looking for the most economic, or within reason dollar priced ones, or?
Well, exactly. Yeah, that's how investing works. The best return on your money, whatever areas that sell is obviously key. So if it's an area where you know it's selling at a certain price and you can pick it up at a certain price, that is generally a winning deal.
Yeah, that's the idea. So my computer's going a little slow because I'm doing screen share of these guys and doing Google Live feed, but the map's loading on my website, and we zoom in on where we got land. I'd like to fill in one of the holes, stuff that we bought a bunch and sold and we're like out of stock. So like Southern California, for example, is really running low on inventory right now. The other place I was thinking that we could get all kinds of different pricing is New Mexico. There's a lot of low priced, higher priced, everything in between, and we could go county by county, start dissecting New Mexico. I've done mailers in the past, New Mexico. I just mail the whole state. I'll mail everybody that's got vacant land. That was a big mailer. That was like
Nice.
47,000 pieces of mail or something stupid. I had a couple people answering the phone, but I remember one of the deals I did out of there. I don't think it's on this map because it was before I created this map. It was Chavez County, and was 112 or 115 acres, something like that. Had a little road going up to one side of it, trees all over the place, some couple hills in there, and the lady sold it to me for $100 an acre, so it was like 11 grand. And I did, I think, 5 acres up to 160 acre properties, and I offered $100 an acre to everybody in between. And I bought a bunch of different properties, but that one particular one, for like 11 or 12 grand, I sold it for, it was right around 30 grand. Like days later, I had people fighting over it, and I just remember that one particular deal. Lots of the other deals took a little bit longer to sell, or whatever, but that's how it works. There's always the one sweet deal that comes out of it. A whole bunch of others that make money. I mean, they totally make money, but just remember that one sticks to my mind. And so New Mexico is like, I got one property up for sale, or maybe right now in New Mexico. New Mexico is really easy when it comes to paperwork and taxes and fees, and I just think it's a nice, easy place to start. Um, yeah, those are all sold. So everything I've had since I started this map is sold in New Mexico. Um, I think it'd be nice to fill in inventory in New Mexico and pick up a bunch of New Mexico properties. So if anyone has any problems with that, I think I'd like to focus in on New Mexico today. Um,
That's fine.
Actually, there is one property that hasn't totally sold. This one over by Tucumcari, 160 acre one I got. Really tough access. That's one of the problems in New Mexico. So let's get that out there with New Mexico. Like Arizona, California, if we buy properties there, they could be way out in the middle of nowhere, no access. They still make sense because the laws allow you to get access to the property. In New Mexico, if there's no legal access, physical access, all that kind of stuff, you got to haggle with the neighbors and do deals with the neighbors to get in and out of there, which can be a mess. Like, I've had people shooting at shoppers of mine, and like gates that show up overnight. The guy tours the property, goes back a week later, and there's a brand new gate. Like, yeah, you just got to be more careful about access in New Mexico. So that's one of the downsides about New Mexico. But one of the really nice things about New Mexico, lots of these counties, you can call the probate judge. Like, lots of times people get back to you that are dead. Their kids, their grandkids, their someone in the family that's taking care of the affairs of the person who passed on that owns the land. They want to sell it, right? And it's like, okay, how do I process the paperwork? Most everywhere else I've done deals, like, you can't call the probate judge on the phone and ask them questions. In New Mexico, you can. Maybe not every county, but lots of these counties, you call the county clerk, and the probate judge is there sharing an office with the county clerk. And they'll answer the phone. They'll put you on the phone. They're like, oh, you got to do this paperwork and that paperwork, and you fill out this form and that form, and you're good to go. So, I mean, stuff like that. It's really nice about doing land deals in New Mexico. As we're just getting started in doing land deals, these style land deals, might want to skip the dead people land and skip the funky title stuff. But New Mexico's an easy place to fix a lot of funky title things too. So we got a couple people chiming in. T Fox, he's probably on all these videos. Says, love New Mexico. Taos area is popular. Yeah, Joe Bowers, Taos is popular. The problem with the Taos area is it's really hard to get maps of where the land is, where the lot lines are. I've heard of a couple different data sets for Taos, but I don't have access to, like data trees. Supposed to have really nice Taos GIS kind of maps, but I don't have access to that one right now. Maybe in the future. But some of these other counties, it's really easy to figure out where the land is. Yeah, redefined living is saying most states you can gain access through the court, but at what cost? Yeah, through the court in Arizona, California, sure, there's precedents to do that, but not New Mexico. New Mexico, like Wyoming, I mean, there's there's government land that's surrounded by ranchers, and like the only way you can get there is by helicopter. You know, if you want to go hunt there, the rancher basically makes it their own land by surrounding it. Nobody can get in and out of there, not even the government. Game warden, I mean, forget it. Um, so New Mexico is not as strong like that as Wyoming, but it's really hard to get access to the land in my experience. I mean, maybe you guys know better, but Dale Miles was saying Tucumcari with a nice place to live. Yeah, I've got some land over by Tucumcari. I'm working with the Bureau of Land Management. Um, no, sorry, not Bureau of Land, State Land Trust to get access to that land. Um, Getting an easement through their property, a negotiated easement. So that seems to be working. I think that's like one of the things I'm going to work on after this video today. See if I can figure that out. So guys, you got any questions? Anyone got questions yet? Silence. The so I'm gonna zoom in on New Mexico. Maybe we could pull up some markets in New Mexico and take a look. Like that, I'd like to look at that Cibola County again, where I remember one of my favorite deals going off.
Well, yeah, Luke, the question that I have is when we're talking about, just so the audience knows as well, for New Mexico, what kind of maybe 2 or 3 counties have you been mailing?
I've mailed all the counties that I can get data on. So let's take a look at something else here. Let's pull up the population by county in New Mexico. This is friggin' crazy. There's some counties there with like hardly any people. Like the county in the northeast most corner. New Mexico population by county. So let's see if we pull this up. Bernalillo County is where Albuquerque is. That's got 600,000 people. That's like your most of the people. Donna Ana, I think, is I'm not sure what town that is. But if you go down here to the bottom, Harding County, 699 people. I don't even think you have to get hunting permits in that county. Like if you own, it's just a couple people that own all the land, and so you know if you own the land, you can go shoot elk on your land. But it's just that kind of area. Otherwise, no one's allowed to go shoot elk because it's all private land. But yeah, some of these counties, there's no data. I mean, 699 people in the county, like everybody knows everybody. Why would they have all the data at the computerized and everything? If you look up the Harding County, what's the courthouse or the recorders and everything, like it's dirt. Let's show this up here. Let's see if I'm doing this wrong.
Luke, I have a question. Luke. You say when you buy the property out of New Mexico, who is mainly your customers? The folks that live in the area, or do you get a lot of people from California or Texas buying the property?
Yeah, you get people from all over the world buying the property. I mean, we put it on the internet, right? We're not putting it in the local newspaper. Right. And
right. Okay.
So look at this. Here's the Harding County Courthouse. Let's look at the street view. I get a chuckle out of this. I don't know if you guys care, but here's Pine Street. There's no pine trees. This is like, it's a dirt road. You know, it's like a trailer or a mobile home or whatever. I mean, which one of these buildings is a courthouse? I don't know. There's no stop sign. There's no stoplight. There's no pavement. Nothing. This is where you'd process your deed if you bought some land here. I mean, the access to data from a county like this is you go knocking door to door. It's not on the computer. We're not mailing offers to that county. So let me pull this back up. So that gives you an idea of how diverse this is. And then if you go to like Bernalillo County, I mean they'll answer the phone 5 days a week, not 1 day a month. They'll process your paperwork quick. You got like online recording, online deeds. Like they're modern, right? Moved into the modern era. But if you get down into some of these, down here, Quay County. So I bought some land in Quay County. You can actually get data on Quay County. Good luck finding the land. Like finding where the land is on maps is, you're going by legal description, township range, and you're going township range maps. And I got a quarter section, so it's like the best map I could get was a section map, and it's like, okay, it's that quarter of the map. Actually, I got a map from BLM that was better, that showed my land holding, but not from the county. They didn't even have that detailed map. Colfax County, Tarrant County, Socorro County. I mean, we're starting to get a couple people in these counties. I've done a bunch of land deals in Socorro County, Luna County, Cibola County. That's the one I was just talking about. Rio Arriba, Chavez, Otero. Those are the counties I've done land deals in that I can think of off the top of my head. And Bernalillo. Bought some in Bernalillo for like $500. Sold them for, $2,500 or something. Some good margins. Tons of people asking about them. So I wanted to pull up Land Watch. Let's just put New Mexico in there. Let's start from the top. They got all these like sections in New Mexico, right? We can see where the volume of properties are. The Southwest, there's 4,000. North Central, 4,000. I like the North Central, but a lot of it's harder to map. Central, that's like the bigger population area. Southeast, this stuff gets really cheap down here.
Well, look, you're 100% right, because while you were doing that, I tried it in the reportable mapping program that we use.
Yep.
Halifax, we have no data, Quay, but that Socorro County, or actually the Torrance County, we could possibly map a bunch of properties there.
Yeah.
And see, that's why I had asked, how do you sell it? Like, if it can't be mapped, like, we have a thing to say, well, you have to find it yourself. I mean, I guess, how do you sell it? That was a question, considering it's hard to be mapped. Like, it can't be mapped.
Yeah, so that's part of picking where you want to mail. Like, it's nice to do a county that's got data where you can find deeds, vesting deeds of who owns the land, so we can do record searches of where it's coming from, so we can be the abstractor to go back in time and see it from afar without walking down that dirt street. I was just pulling up and knocking on doors to figure out which one's the clerk's house, and they got records in their basement or something. I'm not in that business, so I'm not going to go buy land up in this county. This northwest part of it, they got 1,800 properties up for sale over here. It's not as many as the others, but it's not as big of an area as some of these others. And just the other side of this is Apache County in Arizona. I've done a bunch of land deals in Apache County. People love going in there and buying the land because there's a bunch of trees. It's higher elevation than Phoenix. They get out of Phoenix in the summer, so they buy it in the summer. They go over there for the summer. People come here because it's warmer in the winter than the Northeast or wherever they're coming from up north, so they buy it in the winter to move down there. And there's elk, there's game, there's deer, there's wildlife, birds, a lot of different birds you can hunt and see, and rabbits, and just wide open land. A lot of short trees that block the view from any neighbors and leave the sky open so you can see big sky. Not like I'm from Michigan, northern Michigan, you don't see the sky, the trees are so thick, without getting on a lake or something. So short trees that break up the view of any neighbors, but not tall enough to kill the sky views. You get some big wide open sky views. And so yeah, I think this land has a lot more character, and it might be priced a bit more than down in the south stuff, but we dictate the prices by what we put on our mailer, so it doesn't matter that much. So I'm kind of clicking on the Northwest. I might change my mind. I'll look at the prices here, but or what the competition is. Just start studying by region. So we got San Juan, Cibola, and McKinley. I've always liked the Cibola, but I've never done deals in San Juan and McKinley. Let's see what we got, like under 25 grand. Do price low to high. So we got some land dealers coming up here, $79 a month or $5,500 for 2.5 acres, Cibola County. I think they're spamming the top. So what they do is they put, like, when they're filling out their ad on LandWatch, when they put the price in there, there's like one box where you put the price of what you're advertising the price at, and another box you put the price of what it comes up in the listings as. And so if you're saying $79 per month or whatever is the price, if you put in the listing box $1, then you show up at the top of the list like what these guys are doing. So they're not necessarily the cheapest one, $5,500. If we go down, and I think LandWatch shouldn't allow that, because I think it lowers the quality of their data, but in their marketplace, but whatever, people do it. So here's what, $500. Shouldn't $500 be at the top instead of $5,500? I mean, this is probably a rental or something. I don't think they should have these rentals on the land website. I think that discredits their market as well, but whatever. It's still, you can still see the markets in here. So here's Kent Taylor, 1881. He's got Cibola County, New Mexico, $1,600. Zuni Canyon Vista, let's see. It's almost 5 acres, $1,600. I'm just taking some notes. What is that? That's I like to do a per acre kind of thing. Let's call it 5 acres, 1,600. Is it 300? Is it just over 300 per acre? 320 an acre.
Mm-hmm.
5 acres. Some more rental things, buildings, whatever. Cibola County, $2,500. Kent Taylor again. Here's 2.4 acres, $2,500. So what's that? That's 1,200 an acre, or well, 0.4 is throwing my math off. 2,500 divided by 2.4 is 1,041 at 2.4 acres. Here's San Juan County. Oh, that's a rental. There's Cibola County. Cibola County's coming up as a cheaper one. It's all Kent Taylor that's coming up with the land. Yeah, here's a $1,000 whatever an acre he's still doing on the smaller ones. Cibola County, a little tiny itty bitty one. The Rama area is probably the cheapest of Cibola County. So I think Cibola County would probably price lower than the other two counties there. 2.5 acres. Cibola County, this is Kent Taylor. He's doing $1,000 an acre. We should be able to beat that. I'm surprised there aren't more land dealers popping up here in the bottom. Let's up the size. Let's narrow by size, because I don't like these little tiny ones in the middle of nowhere. So if we did let's do 5 acres and up. Price low to high. a realtor. There's no land dealers. Where's the land dealers? That's awesome. I like to see a market with no land dealers. 40 acres for 13.9. You know, scattered juniper bushes. This is all Cibola County. 40 acres for 14.5. Kent Taylor again. Here's the Rama area. 5.77 acres. Rama is like an old Mormon community, and there's a big national forest in the area, like back up in hills that look like this, and they've got a bunch of these smaller lots spread around that area, and it's a ways to any supplies, but you get some trees too. You get some nice trees. This stuff sells, like nice rural land that people can go do whatever they want on. The zoning's like whatever you want. My chickens are going crazy. Here, McKinley County, 5 acres for 15 grand. Look at that. So let's cut out. This is McKinley, right? Let's just do McKinley. Let's cut out the Cibola cheaper stuff. Let's look at McKinley County. So 5 acres and up, 12 grand for 6. Look at that, 12. Is that $2,000 an acre? Just a hair under 2,000. Let's call it 19.
Well, Luke, while you've been doing all this property research, I found out that our mapping program maps every single county.
All these 3 counties we're talking about. Still there, Eric?
Come back in.
Did I lose you? Eric, you still there?
I think he clicked out. He probably clicked back in here.
He'll get back in there. Dr. Green Jean says, got an egg stuck. Maybe. One of the chickens has been fighting the other chickens to get into the nest box. They're like fighting over their favorite nest boxes. Stupid chickens. It's like, just use the other one, guys. I don't know. So it sounds like the mapping works. It sounds like the cheapest stuff in McKinley is $2,000 an acre, $1,900 an acre. Say $1,900 an acre in McKinley, $320 an acre in Cibola, and then San Juan's always more sought after for some reason. You got, I think, some more lakes up there, a lot more trees. There's a lot of trees in San Juan. I think it's just a little higher elevation and more trees going on. Let's see what San Juan comes up with. Yeah, you got to get rid of the $25,000 minimum stuff in San Juan to get anybody. See, price low to high. Let's get rid of 5 acres and up. See if we can get some more information on San Juan. I've mailed San Juan in the past and never got jack. I didn't offer anywhere near enough money, but maybe I was just warming them up for another mailer. Slap them with a silly little one, then send them something more reasonable. It's like Third World Negotiations 101. I think that was one of my favorite classes in university. I took this class in Third World Negotiations. And the premise of the class was start with an obscene offer. And North Korea was like case study number 1. They say, we're going to start nuclear war. And then they settle for some more food. And then they say, we're going to start nuclear war. And then they settle for some electricity. Like, we're gonna have nuclear something, you know, whatever the threat gets bigger and bigger over time, and then they settle for the stupidest little next to nothing stuff. But that's just like,
Yeah.
I went to the spice markets in India. I brought home like a suitcase full of spices. I always like different spices and backpacking around. My wife thinks I'm crazy, but I had a lot of fun haggling with the guys in the market. You know, over like, I don't even know how to explain the amounts of money we're haggling over. It's like fractions of a penny. Trying to figure out how much the spice should trade for. It wasn't about buying the spice. It's about the negotiations. They start out with prices that are like 100 times what you end up buying it for. And if you come in and settle at half, they're like laughing to the bank, you know? If you buy it for a penny on the dollar, they're still happy. So it costs them like nothing. So those kinds of things. I mean, you look at land like this. I don't know if I'm saying what I should be saying. Look at this, $8,900 for half an acre in San Juan County. Here's 5 acres for, this is like $2,000. It's basically $2,000 an acre. Cheap land, US. So let's call it, I'm gonna say it's like $2,000 an acre in San Juan. So 300 an acre, or just over 300 an acre in Cibola, 1,900 an acre in McKinley, like $2,000 in San Juan. It's the cheapest, ugly little properties. Oh damn.
Yeah, Luke, I just posted the counties that I can't map on the chat. So San Juan looks like a good county, you know.
Okay, so out of these three, you can map San Juan, Cibola, and McKinley, or you
well,
can't?
no, and if you look at the Google chat, we can basically map every county except those that I listed. I emailed you the results as well. There's basically 15 counties that we can't accurately map. Now, that mapping program isn't, 100% gold all the time, but in my opinion, it's one of the better GIS mapping programs. Some people use like ArcGIS. Some people use Agent Pro. There's multiple mapping systems. This one I like the best because when you type in a parcel, it automatically calculates the acreage.
Yeah. Okay, so I see it in the map. I see it in the chat. No, I was looking at the wrong chat. Okay. Sandoval, McKinley. So McKinley.
Well, yeah, so we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Obviously, you're the mailing expert, so we would do what you say. Any single counties would be fine. These are just counties that based off my quick research, I would not prefer. We would still mail them, no problem. It's just like you're saying, just for the people listening in, it's more legwork. You got to call the county, you got to get the plat map, and you guys have seen that other county office. It's on a dirt road. I mean, there's probably 2 people that work at the whole office, so they might only answer the phone 3 days a week or 2 days a week, you know?
If you're lucky. Some of them, it's like once a month they get back to people. Yeah, just ridiculous. Okay, so McKinley, let's knock McKinley off the list because that's not mappable. Cibola and San Juan are still in there. San Juan is a good deal more expensive. Like 2,000 an acre is the cheapest stuff that's showing up. But that makes it a lot easier to sell the land too. That means there's more buyers taking those prices up. So let's take a look at data and see where we can find some data on those 2 counties. Let's just try those 2 counties. I'm going to use CoreLogic's RealQuest Pro. That's what I'm used to using for this kind of data. If they don't give me any heartache logging in here. Dolores Garza is saying, can hiring surveyors do this? Yeah, surveyors can go map it. I mean, you don't even need a surveyor. Like, I can go map these properties if I had the time. Like, use a friggin' GPS and the legal description and boiling it down. But it's getting the maps, getting the bases, and basing where these legal descriptions are based off of, like what markers and things. Calling the county surveyor and just getting it all down. We're trying to keep it easy, right? We don't want it that complicated. We're trying to do this from afar. Like, that local stuff can be done by the locals. From afar, we want easy stuff that we can compete from. I'm in Southern California. These guys aren't. They're on the other side of the country. I mean, we can all work on land in New Mexico from here without actually going to New Mexico and figuring it out. And the kind of prices we're talking about in this land, there's not enough room to pay for the surveyors. So I think we're starting with Cibola. Let's try Cibola. Let's do lot size, lot acreage. So lot acreage. I don't want the tiny ones. Like in the middle of nowhere. Let's start with 2.5 and up. Let's see how many records we get. I'm just gonna pull, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start my search off basic and see how many records we get, and then as we keep adding parameters to it, the number of records should go down. So properties in Cibola, this is everything from industrial to, you know, everything. 9737. I'm gonna use another piece of paper. Do Cibola. So 2.5 and up, I got 9737. So I want vacant properties. So I don't want them with, hey, there's the wolf sanctuaries on the list there. Yeah, there's a wolf sanctuary in that county. I've made videos about that in the past and selling other properties in the area. So improved percent is one of my favorite parameters. I'm going to do 0 to 1, and what that is the assessor assessed the value, or the taxable value of the property. Some percentage of the assessed value is the land and some percent is improvements like a house or a barn or whatever people have built on there. So I'm trying to get rid of all the ones. I still got to get rid of use codes because it's the United States of America National Park Service. We don't want that kind of land. But so far we got it down to 8,248, and that's 0% kind of improvement. So we got rid of like 1,500 properties that had something built on them. Doesn't seem like very many, but so we're gonna want to do use, some kind of use parameter, like land use. Let's see if that works. Not sure if this is a state or what. Vacant land, I like that. Let's get some vacant land. This list seems very basic. Some of these counties got such a long laundry line list of stuff. Swimming pool, strip commercial, stores and residentials, store buildings, storage, stockyard, state property. There we go. You're not going to do that one. Stables, shopping centers, shipyards, single family residence. We could do that with the 0%. We're getting rid of the ones that are actually built on. School, salvage, rural home site. I like those. Residential lot. I like those. Residential acreage. Residential not otherwise classified. Let's skip that for now. Recreational. I'm going to skip the recreational stuff. Ranch. I like ranch. It usually has less taxes. Private school. Pasture. Lots of times pasture is friggin' cheap. The nice thing about zoning your land as pasture is you got like taxes that are like a joke compared to residential and everything else, and it's usually really easy to change it from pasture to anything else because the county wants it to be something else besides pasture because they can collect some taxes on it. But if you want to like hoard land away for a future, I mean, go get that stuff zoned as pasture or buy it as pasture. Some ridiculously low taxes over time. Bunch of stuff I'm not going to mail. High-rise condo, health club, gymnasium, golf range, garage, funeral home. I don't want to buy funeral homes. Desert, skip that. Commercial, I'm going to skip that for now. Cabin, I like cabin, sounds good. Casino, That should be a different price. Okay, let's try that. See how many records we got left. There's a lot of stuff. Jason L says, killing me, Luke. Cibola is on my top 3 to mail next. Guess I'm not going there anymore. Is that Jason Littard? Sorry, Jason. I'll just warm them up for you and you can mail them later. You ever checked out land in Blythe, California? Not really. Sheriffville, Arkansas is great state if you're a landlord. Most of the laws favor people renting properties out. I'd hate to be one renting. There's a lot of different comments in here.
Yeah, another good thing about Arkansas is if you move to the state, as long as you're permanently living there and as long as you properly file the right paperwork with the county, I don't know if it's done once or once every year, but if you just Google, Arkansas tax credit, I think it's like a homestead credit. If your property taxes, let's just say that they're, $500 a year, you only have to pay $150 a year because you get credited $350 every year. So if you buy a piece of land, and you move on to it, and the taxes are only, let's just say, $250 a year, as long as you're permanently living on that land and they don't up the tax amount, then you basically have to pay $0 taxes per year, which is pretty nice.
That's sweet. So we got it down to 6,700 records just by reducing the use. Well, I didn't look at the records. I should look at the records a little bit closer and see if we got rid of like government names and parks and stuff like that. This is still a lot more records than I thought would be in here. But I didn't put any top size of properties. So just like scanning the list, it's Ferris Mines. It's a lot of names. A lot of people names, not companies. It's not parks and associations and wildlife sanctuaries and stuff. So I think we're getting the list boiled down to the kind of people we want to make offers to. I'm surprised there's this many records. Yeah, this list is looking pretty good. So I'm going to go back to the parameters and keep limiting it down. I also want to add on the lot acreage, 2.5 and greater. I don't want sections and stuff. I want to do generally smaller ones, but I think 40s would still be nice. Do we see what 40s are going for up there? If we go back to Cibola County.
Luke, what county is this again? I'm trying to zoom in on my screen.
Cibola.
Cibola?
Yeah, Cibola.
I got you. You want...
I don't know what's going on with my land watch. It's pulling up a bunch of weird stuff.
So Luke, what do you think the selling price per acre would be in that county?
Ken Taylor is the biggest competition, 1881.com. And he's got a 5 acre for $320 an acre. So we're going to beat him. I've often sold land at half his prices. It sells pretty fast. I mean, even 75% of his prices sell pretty fast. He usually does pretty good prices. I mean, he's he's the low price leader in most of the markets that he's marketing land in. And if you go look up the records of where he gets the land, it's tax sales, tax auction, tax, back tax properties. I believe are the vast majority of the land that he gets in his inventory from my research of researching his deals in the past. And he usually gets them at pretty darn good prices too. He marks them up pretty good, but he still sells them as the cheapest in the area. And he generally holds his prices pretty firm. Like if you go in and you undercut him, I haven't really seen him drop prices to compete with me. So mine usually deal through there, and then he's the low price leader in the market again after mine are sold. So he's good competition to work with, but he's got a good selection too. So if people are looking at my land and looking at others, they're usually looking at his as well. They go out and they'll tour his land and my land. So I'm sure we work off of each other. I've bought land from people that bought land from him in the past, and he's been doing it for a long time. He's been around the block. He really knows his stuff. What was I gonna do? Oh, so I was looking up larger acreage. So 320 at 5 acres. So let's do like 10 acre kind of things. Let's see what kind of price per acre we get there. Here's a land dealer.
Yeah, the cheapest price I saw is on Realtor.com. It's basically like $5,500 for 11 acres. So the retail value, in my opinion, if you're getting a steal, is about $600 an acre. So assuming you were doing a cash deal, we would probably want to price it between $250 and $400 an acre. Now, this is obviously assuming it's like 10 acres. If it's a larger piece of tract, that's a different story. But you would probably agree with me that one of your better ways of exiting this is probably just owner financing, because if you can't, sell it, if you don't want to take $300 to $500 an acre, you might be able to take, $500 to, $900 an acre if you give people good terms.
Yeah. Here's Chuck Lidka. It's a good land dealer too. He's Land Academy. He's asking $5,000 for 10 acre. That means he's probably mailed the 10 acres here in the past. That's how he got that property. Let's see. He might even be on the call right now. Sorry, Chuck. What's it? $500 an acre. He's asking $500. There's Kent Taylor up here asking $890 an acre on the 10s. So let's see. Let's go to like the 20s. See what 20s are doing. And just because somebody mailed it in the past doesn't mean it's not mailable. I mean, a lot of people say, someone else just mailed it. There's no way I'm going to mail that. Like, I'll pull up a story I just had. I mean, I'm posting some 40s in San Bernardino County in the last week or so on the website. And those 40s, I offered, I'm not going to say the numbers. I don't remember if I did a mailer or a live video on that or not. I don't think I did. I'm going to leave the numbers off because I got the properties up for sale right now. But let's say like 40% less in price than the guy mailed 2 or 3 weeks right before me. And a day after I put the thing in the mail, he was asking me on the phone about different properties that he's getting off the mailer, because he knew that I know San Bernardino County land deals pretty close, and I've done probably more volume there in the last couple of years than most anybody. And so he was asking me for advice on some of the deals that he got, and I'm like, you just mailed them? Like, how much? Like almost twice the price, literally almost twice the price of what I had just mailed him the day before. And I was like, well, that mailer's shot. I'm not going to get anything. Yeah, right. People still called. I mean, some of them said, stop mailing me offers. Like, I had never mailed you before that particular size and statistics and stuff of land. And It's because the other guy, a friend of mine, had just mailed him a couple weeks prior, and other people said, "Oh, I got a higher price. Why would I take yours?" It's like, why are you even calling me back then? And other people said, "Oh, thank you for making the offer. How do I? How can I do the paperwork? How fast can we do this? I got to sell it to you right now, right now, right now." And there's nothing wrong with the title, and it's all clean, it's straightforward. Taxes are paid up, all ready to go. And my friend had just mailed him. He just mailed him a price that was almost twice what I just mailed him. I still bought the land from him. So maybe they didn't open their mail. Maybe they weren't ready to sell. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they get a couple offers like that and they think the price is going down all of a sudden. I don't know what the logic is behind it, but I gave up trying to say, oh, someone just mailed there. I'm not going to mail there. I think they just warm the market up for me. They take all the hate of the hate calls right out of the gate, and I get deals. People start opening up to actually selling their land through the mail. So there's a realtor people. The 20 acres, 12 grand. So what's that? I should be able to do that math. I'm spacing out. 200? No, 600. $600 an acre. It should go down as the size goes up, but whatever. 10 acres, 500. 20 acres, 600. Let's try 40 acre properties and up. Oh wow, look at that. That's cheaper per acre. So you get up to the bigger ones, 13.9. $347. At 40 acres. Kent Taylor's there at 14.5. Oh, Landio. So these guys, I don't know if you guys have ever looked at their website, landio.com. They've been making some really beautiful pictures and videos and very well presented deals. And they've been selling good sized acreage fast. They got Grant, Cibola County. I think he's just spamming it by putting Grants in there. It's probably in Cibola, right? Because Grants isn't even next to Cibola. Yeah, but by just polishing up the presentation, he's selling land at much higher prices. He's going for $1,000 an acre, basically. He does some really nice presentations. Grants, New Mexico. Maybe it's, I don't know, doesn't matter. So I think we got basic pricing, and 10 acres, or let's say the 5 acres is like $320 an acre. The 10 acres is like $500 an acre. The 20 acres is like $600 an acre. The 40 acres is like $350 per acre. So I think it kind of skipped the higher priced stuff, the 10s and 20s. Like I'm not even gonna take that into account with the marketplace. The 5s at $320 an acre and the 40s at $347 an acre is basically saying it's just a little over $300 an acre through there. And I'd probably mail that whole list of them some discount of $300 an acre, like you know, let's say let's go off $350 an acre. No, that's less than $100 an acre. We're cutting it too close. I think we got to offer more than $100 an acre in there. So maybe the margins aren't there to make sense. So if we did 100 an acre, if we bought it 100 an acre and sold it double that, I want more than double. It's 200 an acre. 200 an acre times 5 acres, we could market them at $1,000. And what was the 5 acre? That was 320 that the one guy had. $1,600. So maybe that one's really sticking out and screwing up our statistics, huh? So maybe we should skip the smaller ones. Like if we scratched off the bottom end of the market and we just targeted the, because the 40s start getting really competitive, but the 10s and 20s don't seem to be very competitive. So maybe we just take out the middle of that market. If we did, because in the middle of the market it's 500 an acre. At 500, if we did times 0.25, we try to buy at a quarter of the market price of 125. If we times that by 2, if we're trying to double our money off of it, we could sell it for 250 an acre. At 250 an acre times 10, that'd be 2,500 bucks, or 5,000 bucks. So 2,500 we sell at 10, and 5,000 bucks we sell at 20. I think those would move pretty fast. So what was I saying? 500 times 0.25, 125 an acre. That still seems really low, but maybe the prices are just jammed down there enough that that's where it is. I kind of want to look at San Juan County, so maybe I'm going to save this search and come back to it. Let's do the same thing in San Juan, see if there's more margins. Cibola seems to be kind of tight in margins. Let's save search. I mean, the other way of tackling it is to go up to like larger acreage stuff and hit the larger acreage. I've done good business there too, but it's a lot more capital. I don't think that's a good place to start out. I want to start out in the smaller dollar ones with these guys. So where's San Juan? So I wonder if this same stuff is going to work for San Juan, because this land use is probably going to be the messiest thing. I might have to redo the land use. But now I got it in there. That might be state land use. It might work. So let's just try it. Let's try the same search on San Juan. We're getting records. I'm going to use a different piece of paper for San Juan. $3,600. There's not as many properties in San Juan. Got some churches in there. Bunch of family names. There's an incorporation, LLC. The ownership looks a hair more sophisticated here, just because they're using like structures instead of just personal names. I mean, not all of them, but just seeing a little bit more, LLC incorporation stuff than just mom and pop names here. Which, as you go up in bigger dollar properties, you see that more and more, from my experience. Okay. So let's max this out at 45 acres. Let's see if we still got records or if it's all sections. $32. Yeah, most of it's smaller. So let's look at San Juan County market. Now we could always just mail both of them. cheaplands.us. Got 45 people on the call right now. Thanks, guys, for listening in. If you're new, if you're just checking in recently, I'm going to give some land away towards the end of this call. Trying to figure out where to mail. Looking at a couple different counties. Got a couple guys on the phone that do a lot of land deals off of back tax properties, and they're switching over to, not switching, but adding on to do some mailers too. So I'm helping them through this mailer, getting the mailer set up. Price low to high, so let me put acreage in there because I'm getting too much rentals. These are rentals. Jesus, that's expensive. $3 grand an acre, basically, for 5 acres. $40 acres, Middle Mesa, San Juan County, $29,000. So let's do 40. It's 29,000. $725 an acre. $725 an acre at 40 acres. There's just not much to choose from on here. These are way expensive. Look at this, $30,000 for 2.6 acres. I mean, these 2-acre ones are 30 something. There's crazy prices compared to all the areas around them. So $725 an acre at 40 acres. So if we extrapolated that across the market, or would be 725 times 0.25. So let's call it 200 an acre. If we did 200 an acre times 40, we'd be offering 8 grand on the 40s. And the cheapest 40 was 29,000. There's all kinds of room for error there. If we offered 8 grand on the 40s, on the 5s it'd be, 5 times, what'd I say, 200. I should be able to do that math in my head. $1,000 on the 5s. I wonder if the market's just not happening in San Juan County on Land Watch or something. 5 acres, 15 grand. I mean, it's just crazy. Bah. So I'm trying to pull up San Juan. What's the cheapest land in San Juan County, New Mexico? There's just not a whole lot going on for sale there. It's like it's kind of write your own prices. See if anything comes up on Zillow. Teresa Ellis says, mail me offers, please. Yep. Want land with a spring on it. Are there any in the desert? Yeah, there's some. So, okay, look at this. So here's San Juan County. Zillow's got most all the deals happening up here around Navajo Dam area, around the river. Maybe that's why it's so pricey. Is the riverfront stuff. Let's do cheapest. See what the cheapest stuff is. $30,000. Come on, it's been on Zillow for 500 something days. It's not even a real listing. That's just a joke. So the market's not happening here. These have all been on Zillow forever. You know, months and months and months and months. 20 acres, 80 grand. I mean, forget it. This is a joke. Zillow's not doing deals in this area. I think it's...
Look, the cheapest I'm seeing is 40 acres for $29,000.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the cheapest stuff I see. Yeah, on Realtor.com, I just sort it. I filter out the acreage, 10 acres or more. The two cheapest one's 40 acres for 29 grand, and one's 21 acres for 30,500. The one for 29 grand's been on the market 150 days, so that means it hasn't sold in like 4 months.
Yeah, so it's a joke.
You know.
So I think if we...
But also, too, it's easier to sell versus these people because their ad makes no sense, obviously.
Yeah, no location and no description and stuff. You got to talk to the realtor before you can go take a tour. And they want you to sign contracts, and yeah, forget it. So if we had 40s in the market at like 20 grand, I think we'd be highly competitive. I mean, we don't have to be half the market here. You know, if we bought them at 8 or 10 and took them to the market at 19,999, whatever, I think that'd be way cheaper than everybody else. And there'd be a good spread on that. But the smaller ones, like the smaller properties, what is that? That's like 200 to 225 an acre. What would 225 an acre be times 40? Be 10, right? Oh, 9,000. So what's 250 an acre? 10 grand. So what's 250? Okay, be five grand on the 20s, 10 grand on the 40s. There's a ton of money to be made in between on those. Even if we went down to the 2.5 acre ones and offered something more. Like I don't want to offer $625 for a 2.5 acre, but maybe bottom it out at $1,000 or something. I'm not sure what kind of numbers you guys are comfortable with, but I think that would be fun. On the smaller ones, offer $1,000, and as they get a little bit bigger, go like $250 an acre, and see if we get some deals. And don't have to buy them all if they come in, but I think there's more room for profits here in San Juan County than Cibola County, and actually pulling deals off. It doesn't look like there's much competition, and I think the main competition here is, does the person buy property in San Juan County or do they buy it in Apache County, Arizona? Because it's cheaper the next county over. But it's like a different culture, different atmospheres, different people that shop New Mexico versus Arizona. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like $250 an acre with some minimum on the smaller ones. I got the data boiled down to 3,200 records up to 45 acres. It's a good size mailer, and yeah, I'd be happy to buy those properties if they came in. If you guys don't want them, I'll probably buy them all. Does this make sense? Any questions, anybody? Dale Mouse, I live in southeast New Mexico and the land is not cheap. I think that they have gold on it, or they think that they have gold on it or something. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone always thinks there's gold in their property. I'm not selling it to you. You know that there's a mine there. Hasn't been dug yet. Okay, so I'd like to fire this mailer off. If there's no objections with anybody, I think this would be a good starting mailer. San Juan County, 2.5 to 45 acres. You know, cabin land, pasture land, ranch, residential acreage, residential lots, rural home sites, single family residence, vacant land. Basically vacant land with acreage. Maybe we get some stuff back that has no access, so we renegotiate on or something. I think there's money to be made on those properties if people are willing to take the deals. Good to go? Anybody there? The chat saying go for it. Okay.
Yeah, we're here.
So I'm gonna buy this sucker 3,226. We might learn more when we start looking at the data. We'll see what kind of prices have been trading in the recorded history in recent times, see if we're out to lunch or not. It's downloading. Let's look at some of the chat. Andrew McIntyre saying it costs money to extract the gold. Boy, is that true. I used to work for gold mining finance house. Lisa Dowd. Hi Luke, kick ass. Thanks Lisa. So for you guys that are just chiming in, we're gonna be giving away. I'm gonna be giving away some land towards the end of this video. So stay tuned. Answer basic question. Get some land. Dolores is saying I'm looking for land to homestead. Jack Hinckley saying hemp farm, go Colorado. Yeah. Jessica Green, Luke, last night before I lost connection, you had spoke of doing some type of property purse or retainer. Could you? Property purse or retainer. Could you? Yeah, so Jessica, I've got a link down below. That's a good question. There's a link in the description of this video. If you're watching live or you're watching it later, I've had a couple people doing this in the past. You can put money in there, and I'll be calling you. I'll be passing the deals by you and saying, okay, this is what's coming off the mailer. Do you want to buy this one? And I'll charge you a 25% markup to what is coming in off the mailer. And so, you know, we get these deals. Let's say it's 10 grand for a 40 acre in San Juan County, New Mexico, right? And I'll go through the title. I'll do my abstracting stuff. I'll go through the title and make sure it looks good for me, like I'd be comfortable buying it. Explain it to you, show it to you and everything, check the taxes, make sure there's no HOA fees and all that stuff, and present it to you and say, we could buy this thing if you want to go for it, you know, probably wire the rest of the money in right away, and I'll do the paperwork and we'll go buy the property. And so let's say it was $10,000 for 40 acre, just for example, whatever it comes in at, and I'd charge you $12,500 for the property. I'll do all the paperwork and then you can run with it. You can go homestead that property. You can love it, leave it to your kids, have fun with it, whatever you want to do. You could ask me to resell it for you. You could go sell it yourself. You could get it listed all over the place. Go sell it for, you know, the cheapest stuff in the market. These 40 acres for a couple of us looking around is about 30 grand, roughly 30 grand-ish. You know, you buy it for 12.5, you mark it up to 25 grand. You're the cheapest in the market. You mark it up to 20 grand. I mean, you're really, really the cheapest in the market. It's going to sell pretty fast. I can probably help you do the paperwork on that too. So you make a quick flip out of it, and I don't have to put the money up for it, and I'll just do the paperwork because I know the time value of money side. I'd rather have quick, fast, easy money and then waiting around and going full, wholesale, not wholesale, retail, kind of retail prices for it, and answering all kinds of questions on the sales side and stuff. But so if you're interested in that, there's a link down below, and you can throw some money in there, even if it's like 500,000 bucks or whatever. Hold your spot. And if I don't get deals, we don't get any deals, which happens from time to time, I'll just send you the money back or offer you deals on a different mailer or other ones that are coming through. So this kind of mailer, it's going to be more than 500,000 bucks to get into the properties, but you know, something to get your foot in the door. I'll start calling you first to take on the deals. So if that makes sense, I think we got our data pulled down here for San Juan County, New Mexico. And I'll pull this up on the screen, and we can see, you know, going through the data, what people have been trading the land at, if it's in this county. They got that kind of data. Jessica Green saying, explain that again. Sorry. Yeah, so we're trying to buy this land. We haven't bought it yet. We're making offers. We're studying this thing, and we're trying to make offers, right? And so as people get the offers and they call back and they want to sell the property to us, I'll give you a call. If you put money in, if you go to the checkout link there down below and you say, you know, Luke, here's my contact information, here's $1,000. If you don't get the land, send it back. If you get the land, I'll add on more to pay for it. I'll be passing the deal by you. Here's the 5 acre we got. Here's the 20. Here's the 40. Here's the deal. Here's what I think it should sell for. Here's what you're going to pay for it. And yeah. So basically just reserving some deals off of this next mailer by putting money in the box below. That's what I'm asking. That was the logic. So I got the data pulled up. I'm just freezing that top row if I did it right. I don't think I did it right. Nope. I'm going to go over and I'm going to look at what stuff sold for. Yeah, that worked that time. So we get all this data. This data is coming from the county. It's been categorized by RealQuest people to get all the columns to line up like the other ones. It's got legal descriptions going on in there. It's got some weird ones. It's not all sections, section, range, township. Lot acreage is all over the place too. It's not all the same. It's kind of nice to see you get a smattering of all kinds of stuff. Market values, property tax. I'm going to stop on this for a sec. Let's I'm going to save this file before I mess around. My computer's running kind of slow because I've got so many things going on. And this is kind of a big file. I'm going to sort by property taxes because we're going to get some crazy taxes, I think, on some of these. Oh, look at that. Some of the properties got $5 a year taxes. $300, $500, $600, $8,000. Taxes ramp up. Whoops. Here's the crazy taxes at the end. Let's take all these $5,000 ones and above out. not going to offer those people money. Something going on to those properties that makes them fancier. Special tax appraisal. Sale price is totally vacant in this one. This county doesn't keep track of sale price. They keep track of what kind of deed. They just say deed, regular. Yeah, so we're missing some data on that stuff. Okay, so I think what I'll do is I'll boil it down. I'll take out the dupes. I'll take out, because there's some here with like no good mailing addresses. I'll take those out. I'll take out some of the crazy number stuff and start pricing it. Someone's saying, Luke, do you use OBS for your video streaming? Yeah, I love OBS. I'm a Linux guy. Like OBS is open software. I like that. Okay, Jessica Green saying, I got it. I was just finishing my broken sentence. So thank you, everybody. I think I answered most all the questions in the chat. I think I got the data put together to do this mailer. I'm going to do the last polishing from there. We've been going like hour 20, so it's getting pretty long. We got 44 people watching, and I want to give some land away. Eric, you want to come up with a question from something earlier in the video? Still there, Eric?
Yeah, I could probably come up with a good question.
Yeah, something easy to answer, but like they've been paying attention.
Well, yeah, as you guys can tell, me and Luke are pretty technical, speakers and thinkers. But just to keep it pretty simple, I guess one question would be, as far as before you mail out the mailers, what are just a few basic important steps?
Oh.
Like what's the general overview of it? If you were to do a mailer, how would you, like, name one or two processes that are involved?
I meant like a question for the people to answer to get some free land. I think you're asking me the question. Or you're asking them?
I see what you're saying. I'll let Jeremy handle that one then.
Jeremy, you there?
Yep. So you want a question for giving your land out today?
Yeah, the person answers it, says they've been listening since early on in the video somewhere and paying attention, and they get a free piece of land. So that kind of question.
Okay, how about 2 reasons why we do not mail counties that are low populated?
Nice. That's a good question. So the first person that answers 2 reasons why we don't mail counties that are low populated gets a free piece of land. So Dolores is saying research, choose, and contact. Research, choose, and contact. Not enough info. I think that's a good one, but we're looking for 2 reasons. County doesn't answer the phone. That's a good reason. I think we got a couple reasons on the board, but we're looking for 2 reasons from the same person to win the land. Low volume of buyers. That's a good one. So Andrew McIntyre says county doesn't answer the phone. Low volume of buyers. I think that's close enough. Let's do Andrew McIntyre. Andrew McIntyre, I think you're the winner this time. Andrew McIntyre is answering questions really good there. So Andrew, if you would email me, I'm gonna record this down. So email me, luke@ruralvacantland.com. Your information of what name you want the land in. Your name, your company, your trust, your kid's name or something that you want to hold the land in, and I will go get you a new piece of land. It'll take me a little bit of time, and I'll get it into your name, and then if you want me to sell it for you, I'll go try to sell it for as much as I can, and give you cash instead. I'll keep half the profits of selling it. You know, so if it costs me, you know, one price, sell it for more, I'll give you all the money that it cost me plus half of everything more above the cost up to where I sell it. And or just use the land, go have fun with it, do whatever you want with it. And I think that would be fun. So he says, I'll be honest, I already won a week or so ago. Is that okay? Yeah, it's okay. I'll give you another one. Andrew's a second time winner. I was wondering about that, but I couldn't remember 100%. I got a spreadsheet of people that have been winning land. Andrew's fast on typing, I guess, watching videos and typing. So I probably already have your information, but if you email me again, that'd be much appreciated. Andrew's cheating. Yeah, I got to start kicking out some rules before I give the land away. Nobody working for me, with me. That's one before. I think that would be probably a good thing. I'll start doing that in the future. I work hard to listen. Thanks, Andrew. Yep. Someone else using some words I'm not going to repeat. But thank you, everybody. Thanks. I'm going to hang up on the live YouTube live stuff. And if you are watching this later on, please subscribe to get more of these coming up. If you're watching it live, thank you. You're probably already subscribed to know about it. And thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks for questions. Thanks for watching. And feel free to go shop land on the website, ruralvacantland.com. We're always getting new deals. Now you know how we get the deals and why the prices are so low. And why everybody wins off these deals. Just makes sense all the way around. Luke Smith, ruralvacantland.com. Also Eric Harum. I'm not sure if everyone's still on the line, but we had Micah, Latoya, and Jeremy as well. Some good land dealers from the east side of the country starting to do some deals in the west. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.